Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, good Saturday morning to all of my cold beans this morning because we are It's time to get up. It's time to get up. Allie says, thank you, Betty. I'm never up this early. I have to drive such a long ways, but thank you. Thank you, Miss Betty, for gracing me with your presence this beautiful Saturday, freezing my ass off morning. Oh, these commercials. You shouldn't have very many commercials. We have very limited commercials on this part. Now, if you're on the vertical chat, you guys should be littered with commercials because that's the object of the vertical chat, because we can't really manage the horizontal chat and the vertical chat at the same time. So the vertical chat's there, but we're kind of all over here on the horizontal chat, unless you guys are just running and you guys don't really have a lot of chatting to do, because I got commercials set up for 12 minutes. And it's because the haters want to go over there on the vertical side. So if they're going to go over there on the vertical side and try to talk smack when we're not looking, well, you're going to pay for it. Okay, I'm just saying. You little sneaky suckers. You're gonna pay for it. Betty's a little smarter. I'm just saying. Those on the vertical chat can't see. I am so sorry.
Sneaky gremlins love to fight, but we're here to set it right. Jump and duck, let's take a shot. Turning trolls into what they're not. Whack a troll, let 'em tumble, let 'em roll. Swing your spatula or a stick. Whack 'em fast, whack 'em quick.
So we can, if we want to, we got it loaded up. But you guys over here on the horizontal side, I'm a little easier on you guys. I don't load you guys up because you guys are here for the show. So they're here to talk smack. So they won't come, because we whack a troll pretty quick on this side, but it's that side. I'm eating tamales and hot Cheetos. Oh, good gracious, first thing in the morning. Well, that's about as bad as me, because mom of 9.5 sent me some Mexican food, and I couldn't eat it the night before, all of it. I ate some of it, but good gracious, it was a lot of food. So I wake up yesterday. I do my show, and then I start stuffing my face on some Mexican. Thank you, Mom of 9.5. I'm just saying. Oh, good gracious, you guys kill me. Oh, yes, we love this troll song. But if, let me know, because sometimes, I rely on YouTube for the, the commercials. Sometimes they get a little carried away. So I've got it set. You guys are on the rotisserie version of the Bullhorn Betty channel, okay? I set it and forget it. So if there are problems, you guys need to let me know so I can make some adjustments behind the scenes. But you guys are going to be hit with some advertisements, but it shouldn't be overwhelming. It should not be overpowering. It should be like maybe a commercial every half hour or something. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it shouldn't be. I mean, we're on here for 2. Like, you should at the most have 2 advertisements, maybe 3. Okay, you shouldn't be littered with advertisements every few moments. Okay, so if it's getting that's the vertical chat. The vertical chat, you sneeze, you get an advertisement. I'm just saying, we gotta play, I'm just saying, we're getting used to the haters, so we have to, constantly just make these things, right? We get sick and tired of it. I'm just saying, folks, I'm just saying. All right, we got something was sent to me, and it's beyond bizarre. Let me say hi to the people in the vertical chat. Lisa B, always. OG Jitterbug, it's nice to see you, Lovebug. I hope you are doing well. Who else do we have? Denise, hey love. Sonia's over there. She's got the mallet. She's trying to whack a troll. Blessed happy Nana. Well, hello there, Lovebug. I hope you're doing well. Blessed happy Nana. Jenny, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Hello. We got about 26 people. Hey, Debbie, it's nice to... How do I get to the horizontal chat? Okay, how you get to the horizontal chat is if you're in there, you find my face on anything, okay? Just back out like you're going to make a comment, find my face, hit it, go to my channel, and go to live. You'll see the one in horizontal, you'll see the one in vertical, okay? If you're in the horizontal and you want to stay here, then stay here. The way you can tell is the breaking news is above my head in the horizontal, or excuse me, in the vertical, okay? It covers the whole entire back on the horizontal. Okay, it's just above my head in the vertical. So that's the best way I can tell you to get to the vertical. It's nice to see you, little orange man. I see you over there, but that's... It's not the time yet. It's not your time. You've already went outside. Okay, she wants to say hi. For whatever reason, she wants to say, hi, guys. I don't know what's going on with my mommy. I just want to be in her hand this morning. I don't know why. Hi, little baby. Hi, Miss Baby Delilah. She kind of does her own thing, folks. I'm at the mercy of now she wants down. She just wanted to come by and say hi. She wanted to see she's a nosy broad, okay? She's like her mama. And she just wanted to swing by and see what was going on. She wanted to sniff out to see if anybody was up here causing her mama some problem. And I was actually not meaning to run 2 lives today. We were going to try the one setting in YouTube, and for whatever reason I forgot. She's adorable. I tell you what, that freaking dog, man. Oh, that dog right there is probably the most spoiled dog in the universe. Okay, she bosses me around. She's a bossy broad too, and she's very stingy. Okay, everything's hers. Okay. Everything's hers, including my heart. My heart. She has stolen my heart. Okay. She is absolutely spoiled rotten. I don't know what I would do without her at this point. Like, she's my ride or die. Like, I fired Laura. No, I'm just joking. Laura's not fired. I'm going to see her today. I'm just joking. Don't be calling her, telling her I fired her. I did not fire her. She's still my BFF. She's unreplaceable, just like Delilah. Okay? She's unreplaceable. Oh, good gracious. Okay, guys. It is so great to be here. It is Saturday morning. We're finally getting some cold air. If you guys know anything about me, I live in Florida, okay? So our temperatures here in Florida are next to molten lava. And so having just a little breeze, just a little bit of that poof, right? It's that poof of cold. Good gracious, hit me up, right? We really enjoy and just, I don't know, sometimes we're like, really today? Did it have to come today? Like, I don't feel like being cold today, right? But I'm sorry. We didn't really have a cold Thanksgiving. I want a cold Christmas. Usually if you don't have a cold Thanksgiving, you have a cold Christmas. But some of those times, it is molten lava. It is molten lava. We live in Florida, okay? And it really upsets me. And it really upsets me to see even like, Texas, they're kind of getting colder than Florida, and it upsets me. Because, Texas little butt hangs out there, near the equator, too. They should be just as blessed hot as we are over here in Florida. It's just not fair that Texas gets snow, but Florida does not, okay? I'm just saying. It's just not fair. It's just not fair. 50 in Texas right now. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, well, it's 50. I think, what is it here? It's freaking cold this morning, okay? It was cold this morning. I didn't sit out and drink. Usually I go over to Glenn's and we're outside drinking coffee, but when it's cold mornings, we go inside to drink coffee, okay, and say good morning to one another. Because neither one of us are sitting outside in this freaking cold ass weather, right? And since he's older, I go over there. His dog's always on the chain, and Delilah likes, I don't know what it is. She likes running around the fence, Makes her feel like she's a bad girl. I don't know. It makes her feel like she's grown. She can make her own decision. I'm gonna go see my friend. She always looks back and she always looks at me to make sure I give her the go ahead to go around the fence. She stops right there at the fence and she looks back. She's like, "Mommy, can I go see your friend?" She'll jet around the fence. She's so cute. She's so fucking cute. She's just cute. It is 52 degrees. Oh! 72 degrees in Florida. It's obviously cooled molten lava this morning, so we're going to enjoy the cooled part of the molten lava this morning as much as possible. Oh, good gracious, as much as possible. Guys, we have an alarming story that one of our audience members, I think it's Shannon, I think she sent to, I'm pretty sure Shannon, I'm not going to pull it up, but I'm pretty sure it was Shannon, sent to me from Tennessee. I mean, I really, it's not like, look guys, it's not like Tennessee has the absolute worst cases, all right? It's not that Tennessee has the absolute worst cases, but you know what? They're getting up there. They're getting up there. You know, once upon a time, it used to always be Florida. I think all the crazies said, oh, we're not getting away with crap in Florida. Where else can we go? Oh, look at here. Here's Tennessee. Let's run over to Tennessee. And I feel like Tennessee got all the freaking crackpots in the freaking country, okay? I don't know what's going on with Tennessee. I have no idea. They're supposed to have the good Southern home values, right? You'd even expect like having Memphis, Tennessee is just mind-blowing. How you have so much crime in such a concentrated area, and you don't know how to deal with crime in to me it would be an officer's dream to have all your crime concentrated in one area. Like you don't have to worry about zone A, B, C, or D. You just have to worry about zone F. Get all your officers over there in zone F and choppy. Let's get this done. Bad guys go to jail. Let good guys go. The ones that need some help, let's get them some resources. Choppy, right? You would think that that's what it is, right? I mean, I would think that it would be a law enforcement's paradise to have all your problems in one concentrated area. I'm just saying, strategically, I would like that. We're dealing with, and I have to apply some land use matters here, okay? 723, Debbie, don't kill me. Oh my God. Jesus. All right, let's stop. Before we get into our choppy story this morning, let's stop. Let's say hi to everybody. Let's find out what the temperatures are, because it looks like this country is pretty. Let me see if I can get a Doppler. Can we get a Doppler? What's this country look like? How cold is our country? How cold? I don't know. Is our country? Why not? I mean, they make a Google search for everything else. Why not this? Let's see what they got. How cold is our country? Good gracious. Am I okay this morning? I don't think I'm okay this morning. Okay, we got weather underground. I don't know how well that is. Let's see what we are throughout the country. We have a one-up map. Oh, geez, Louisa. Okay. Well, if you guys didn't know, we were. Sorry, I'm getting a little choppy because we're going on this weather thing, and the weather thing, that looked pretty cold. I don't know about you, but that looked like a cold map to me. I feel cold. Okay, so if you guys were wondering where you are, where are the people in this chat? I move this up just ever so slightly. Let's get it above my head so we can have a real conversation here. Oh, hold on, guys. I gotta fix the horizontal. The horizontal stream is not cooperating this morning. It's wanting to be difficult. We got to bring it on down here. Woo, doggy. Woo, doggy. Oh, good gracious. You guys are making my bones ache, okay? You're making my bones ache. What are you guys doing? Oops. This is why we're lagging. You see all these advertisements. This is the stuff I can't stand. It's the stuff I just can't stand. All the stuff over on the side. Look at that. So here I got a Doppler radar. I got a Doppler radar for you guys in chat, okay? Anybody above Florida probably is pretty cold. I'm just saying. I got the crystal ball. I got the crystal ball here this morning, folks, okay? I'm going to give you guys, everybody above Florida is freezing cold. I know, I'm the best. You know what? It sucks being right all the time. Just joking. So if you guys are wondering, you know, how does thy neighbor? The only people you should be jelly of are the people in Texas and the people in Florida. It looks like everybody else. You cold. Well, California, I don't know. That green's 55 degrees. That's still stinking cold, folks. I think we're the only ones. I literally think we are the only state that has some temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Everybody else is like 50s, maybe mid 50s. I think everybody else is mid 50s and below. You guys, woo! If you're not in Florida, I know, Melanie. I do. I don't know why. Every time I laugh, I cry. And I don't like it, especially when I do my makeup. It's not as perfect as the one day, but you know, I had to darken up the corner. I like dark corners. I don't know why. I like dark corners on my eyes. I think it looks great this way. I think it looks great on camera this way. I don't know. I just like it. I don't know. Whatever. But anyways, it looks like everybody in the chat is cold. Sunshine State. Sunshine State or bust this holiday season. I'm just letting you know, guys, I don't have enough room for all of you guys this year. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I don't know what has gotten up your guys' rear end, but I've got my whole entire damn living room. My living room went from a normal size living room to a very small living room when I had to move my recliner over to the other side of the room, closing the room off, and then putting the tree up. So I feel like I got like a 5x5 cell in the living room now. And then everybody and their mama decides to send me the biggest damn gifts you guys could possibly send me. I'm running out of living room space, folks. We're supposed to have a Christmas wrapping party in another couple days, and I don't even know if I have room for my legs to fit in there. Okay, I'm just saying. Thank you guys, by the way. You guys do make a girl feel special, so I do appreciate it. Lisa says I'm from Chicago. Oh, you poor thing. I was there in the summertime, okay? And I was freezing from the wind downtown Chicago, okay? The windy city is truly the windy city. And if you want to know why it's the windy city, because the wind has no place to go except down the aisles of these streets with these big old skyscrapers. It's like a freaking natural air conditioning. Okay, let's get off this because it's jacking my system. Okay. It's jacking my system. So let's go back to our breaking news. There we go. Get that off. Oh, I got to sneeze, folks. So give me just a second. Ooh, thank you for that. Allergies never go away. I don't know how the people on TV do it. I don't know. Maybe I missed that in journalism school. I don't know. How the hell do our people on air not sneeze, not cough, not do anything? I don't know how it does. Maybe it's because they always go to a commercial, or they have a button to push, so you can say, oh, we can take this over. Oh, go to camera 4. Okay. Well, I'm just letting you guys know we don't have a camera 4 in the studio. We have camera 1, and it's manned by Bullhorn Betty. And as you see where Bullhorn Betty is, it's on this side of the screen, and I don't have a toggle thing. So, camera 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here we go. Okay, cupcake. All right. We came across, somebody sent me this. I think it was Shannon. I could be wrong, but it might be Shannon. And I wrote down mom burns, Go to the title, figure it out. I got to be careful with what I say because this is YouTube, right? This is YouTube. Give me just a second. I got to. Yeah, when we need to move to camera 4, we have to turn the cameras off. We got to turn the cameras off and the hot mics off. Sorry, I had to be able to breathe. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for bearing with Bullhorn Betty. So somebody had sent me this case, and I looked at it, and I'm like, ooh, whoo, this is going to be a tough case. There is a viewer discretion advisory on today's show, okay? If you guys didn't see it in the description, let me say it right now. This is really for educational purposes. We have to do it for educational purposes because the story plot is a little disturbing. So I'm going to be very ginger in how I dance around explaining this particular case. I can't even run the news clips on this case because I'm scared that because news people can talk however the hell they want on these platforms. Okay, content creators, on the other hand, are have to play by different rules. I don't think it's fair, but it is the rules that we have to play by. Okay. So I can't really show you guys any news clips about this unless I sanitize them a lot. And I've got to download them. It just takes too much time. So we're going to run the show. I'm going to show you guys some things, but I'm not going to be playing those things that I'm going to be showing you. This is going to be most likely a backdrop, if you will, to the case that I am covering. Okay, I thought this was a mom at first. I found out this is not a mother. This is actually a girlfriend, which almost adds insult to injury when it comes to this because you took somebody else's child. Anyways, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it right now. This is a very sad case out of Memphis, Tennessee. 29-year-old Dominica Mosby, not sure how to pronunciate her last name, but I'm pretty sure it's probably a Mosby or Mosby, Mosby, is criminally charged with the connection death of a 3-year-old Kevin Horton. The child was the son of her boyfriend, Keith Horton. So this, we in many cases, let me go ahead and put her ugly ass disgusting face up here for everybody to see what this piece of garbage, who this piece of garbage is. On this show, we talk a lot about, being careful. We have a lot of single women, that have children. We have a lot of divorcees. We have a lot of married and happily functioning families. We have a whole mix of people that come to the Bullhorn Betty channel. We have a large audience. We generally bring a lot of people in from all over the world to some of the shows that we are discussing. Some of the people in our chat right now may be overseas. But we're always talking about our women, protecting our women. We're always talking about when you bring a new man home, you really don't want to, if you're starting to date guys, don't immediately start introducing them to your children, start doing background checks, start protecting your children, just a whole bunch of stuff that we try to plant seeds, especially in our single moms that come on the show about, best case scenarios, best practices. We've even offered, if you're meeting somebody and you want to, a preliminary background check on them, we're happy to help you. We want to make sure our people here on this show are safe. We want to make sure their children are safe. I mean, we cover a lot of child crimes that really unnerves a lot of us on this show. And we're always trying to find ways to prevent it and new laws to advocate for, to hold people accountable when they do horrible things. And this is going to be a case where it's just the opposite. This is where a father, and this goes out to my fathers, my single dads, right? Fathers that are, there's a lot of fathers that are raising children by themselves. There's a lot of broken families. There's a lot of divorced families that are trying to have, a good family functioning unit and, a blended type of family on both sides. There's just a lot that is to be had, but it's not just one way. We can't just look at just the guys. Who are we bringing into our children's lives as a dating partner that wants to maybe do something more, unite the family, have our blended family, whatever the case may be, right? But now we have to worry about the women. And at the end of the day, guys, it is our environment. Our environment is anti-child. Our environment is anti-family. That has been really our environment in America. And we've been trying to fight that for a very, very long time and trying to let people know that, the family unit is very, very important, And here we have this woman that probably doesn't have children, doesn't know how to handle screaming kids, doesn't know how to handle a little 3-year-old boy. You got to be careful with who you bring into your children's lives. This is a man that this girl, I would never think that she would be capable of what we're about to talk about. Okay. I just never would think that the lady behind me could possibly do what we are about to discuss, period. It would never, looking at her, it would never cross my mind. She looks like a normal, well-to-do person. I would never think anything of it. Would I trust her? I probably have a good conversation with her. She looks normal. I probably, me personally, as strict as I am, probably wouldn't have a problem with her watching, say, my grandchildren. Right? Just on the surface. And it's very, very upsetting. So in Memphis, Tennessee, there is a 29-year-old Dominica Mosley criminally charged in connection with the death of a 3-year-old child. The charges include first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, and aggravated child neglect. I personally think torture should have been added to her list of charges. Okay? You guys hear me? I truly believe torture should have been added to the list of charges. I don't know how we did not learn of this case before today. Again, it was a member of our family that sent this case over to me by email. This case did not just happen last night. It didn't just happen this week. It is upsetting to me. Oh, congratulations, maybe a Christmas baby. What am I missing in chat? Do we have, is our family growing? I hear, expecting a new grandbaby any day now. Ooh, I wish I had a baby crying. Oh, wrong one. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Sorry, Frank, I hit the wrong button, and of course, my sticky button didn't stick. Congratulations. We have a forever growing family here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Oh, we're hoping for a Christmas baby. We're hoping for a real gift to open, aren't we? Yeah. Well, congratulations, Frank. I am so happy for y'all. I'm so happy for you. See, and that's what's so it just feels, we see our family grow. We're so excited to hear about new life, babies. We want the best for our children, our grandchildren, our families, and then we have terrible evil like the lady next to me that picks on and bullies a 3-year-old baby. Like, what? So again, I've got to be very delicate in how I present this case, and even setting this up, I wanted to make sure I presented it very, very low key, because It's a disclaimered case, okay? That means that, this, not everybody can handle this case. If you guys have had, some PTSD with child abuse and stuff like that, you guys are going to want to leave the chat if this bothers you, okay? Me personally don't think that you should be associated if you do have some traumas and PTSD from any type of childhood trauma or, crime that happened to you, where, hearing about these cases does something to you on a medical level. It's not safe for you to be watching true crime. Just my personal opinion. You do you. I'm not going to tell you what to do with yourself, because nobody's going to tell me what to do with myself. I'm just letting you guys know that I think if you do have problems, PTSD, I don't think you should be associated with true crime at all. Okay. It's just my opinion. But do what you will. Oh, Lily, it's nice to see you. Bombastic, it's nice to see you. Jenny, Melanie, Vicky, hello. The real me too. It's nice to see you, Lovebug. I hope you guys are all doing well. And again, congratulations, Frank. Congratulations. So what do we have here? So this is kind of the breakdown of the timeline. This actually happened. It sounds like November 14th and 15th. It's not a breaking news case, but it's breaking news to us because we haven't heard about this case before. We were none the wiser about this case. I just learned about this case literally since probably late last night into this morning. And even when I was talking about this case and looking at this case, I still thought that this was Mom. And my assessment of this case was going to be a little bit different. My talking points, my key talking points were going to be different on the case. And then I found out this is a freaking girlfriend. And it blew my mind. And I'm like, okay, well, we got a problem here. It needs to be across the border. And trust me, you know what? This is not for high wealth people. High wealth people typically don't have the problems that are presented on our show. Typically, I mean, we do have Rob Reiner, so there are people of high net worths that do debut on this show and debut on other true crime podcast show. But typically, a lot of these crimes are for you folks that are like me, where we're kind of low middle class people. We're not up there in the higher echelons of our communities. We're kind of like middle to low of our communities, right? And that's where the majority of America is. Okay, so we're the majority of America, but these problems are the ones that are plaguing our area. Okay, and our net worth. So if you are middle class or low middle class or anywhere in the middle class, you need to be researching the people you're bringing into your home. Okay, there is a lot of mental illness bred by our public school systems. Okay, we have a lot of messed up people, more now than we ever did. Okay, our school systems have royally, I don't care, I'm not going to get on a bandwagon, I'm not going to argue with you guys about it. I do the research until you bring me some statistics that trump my statistics. I'm going to talk as I want. Our school systems have royally screwed up several generations of children, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay, they have instilled in our children that human lives do not matter. That's all that I can tell you. Their life doesn't matter. Their bodies doesn't matter. They don't know what's going on with their bodies. We don't matter. Children don't matter. Save the dogs, okay? That is what is being taught in our school systems. Don't save yourself. Don't save your children, but we want to save the animals, okay? That is the most disgusting and deplorable talking points I've ever said. When I hear that schools are more concerned about somebody's sexual identity than they are about their education, we've got problems here. So that's where my evidence and my receipts come from with that statement. So with that being said, people in this age group, and I tell you guys this all the time, there's something going on with our 20 and 30 something years olds. Did I not tell you that? We've been talking about this for years. There is something deranged and demented with some of our 20 to 30. We got a lot of 20 that are now turning into their 30s. Angry people. And it was a direct result of education and the lack thereof, because these kids were not educated. They were thrown out in the world without hardly any life skills whatsoever. Eat or be eaten. That's what we gave. That was what was on the educational ticket for most of our students, okay, of this age group. Okay, we're still fighting the school systems, but it is getting better. Okay, we're going to start producing more well-rounded students coming out of our Department of Education. But for the time being, this is what we're dealing with for the 20 and 30-something-year-olds, okay? So we have to, if you're in that age group, you have to do background checks before you bring people in. You cannot allow people to be around. I don't care if you are horny, okay? Let's okay. Your biology doesn't matter. When you chose to make a baby, your biology takes a back seat to that baby, okay? Whether you're a mom, whether you're a dad, whether you're a grandparent that's raising a child that you should not be raising, it doesn't matter. Your feelings, your life, your anything that you thought you own has now taken a backseat to that child. That child did not ask to come in to this world, okay? But here we got a child. Now you're responsible for making sure that child thrives. And I'm not going to beat up a father. I don't know much about the father. Now, the father may have been living a very poor lifestyle that led to meeting this piece of garbage that ultimately took his child away from him. We need to find out what happened. Maybe I'll be coming down on the father soon. Like, how dare you? How dare you bring this POS around your baby, right? I don't know where this case is going to go for this show yet. We're just getting started. If the case does show a father put his child in danger, you bet your ass we're going to be calling it out on this show, okay? But right now, I don't have that. I have a grieving father and a father that did not do this, okay? We see his girlfriend behind behind bars, not him. Now, will that change? I don't know. I don't know. Will that change? Will he be behind bars next? I don't know. I don't know. But clearly, this child was in the care of this woman. We're going to try, again, to gingerly go through this. You're talking about cigarette burns. You're talking about abdominal, feet, abdominal, where the thrusts were so hard from the foot in the abdomen area that it lacerated livers and punctured this and punctured that bad. Okay. So just to kind of fill you guys in. So, this lady initially told police that Kevin was unwell and had been vomiting before she put him to rest. Early morning in the 15th, Mosley called emergency service after finding Kevin unresponsive. His father, Kevin, arrived and found the child deceased. So it sounds like this child was in her care. She injured this child beyond help, did not seek medical attention, and this child perished throughout the night until he was deceased. The father obviously arrives and finds his child deceased. I can't imagine this father. I can't imagine. I can't believe that this woman's face looks, and you guys may say, Betty, we don't believe in violence. I don't believe in violence on this show, but I also believe that when you see something like this, you can become very, very, very enraged, and you things happen. You go outside of yourself, and there are laws that help justify some of that action as well. We do have laws that justify when you see something like that, because I'm telling you, I don't know how I would react. I know that my 20-something self, this lady's face would have been pretty messed up before she ever got to jail. I will just tell you that, okay? Not that I'm agreeing with it or saying that it's what you do. We believe no vigilante justice, no violence whatsoever. But I got to tell you, there are just some things I don't know if I could control myself. And I know that I can't control myself. I pray to God I never have to be in that position, because it's the thought of how I would react scares me, And I know that about myself. And you guys should be honest with yourself about who you are. Some people aren't like that, Some people, again, like Erica Kirk gets mad props from me because she's a better woman than I'll ever be. I strive to be that each and every day. But, there's just some that have what it takes to be that person, and there's just some that don't. I'm not one of those people that have what it takes to be an Erica Kirk. I'm one of those people that has what it takes to be a Bullhorn Betty. This is probably going to be it, right? I'm very impassioned. I'm very passionate about things I do. And I get loud when things push comes to shove. During question, she later confessed to causing severe physical harm to Kevin in the hours before his death. The Shelby County medical examiner ruled the child's death a homicide. Autopsy findings include the following: internal injuries, including lacerated liver and bleeding to the stomach, extensive bruising, burn injuries to the ear and genital areas. The injuries were consistent with, these injuries were inconsistent with normal childhood accidents. Those are the reasons why I think torture is really appropriate in this particular case. Identities, victims, and families. Kevin Horton is the victim. He's 3, lived in Memphis, Tennessee with his family. His father was Kevin Horton. Father Kevin Horton is Kevin's biological father. He discovered his son unresponsive at the residence. The mother, publicly reported, has not been prominent, detailed Kevin's biological mother's involvement. So I don't know if he was involved with his mother, if this was a single dad raising his child. We don't know what happened to this 3-year-old's mom. And I don't see where there's any indication of who she is or where she is, or was she involved in her son's life. He was 3 years old. He's just a baby. So if she's not involved, or she's an addict or something like that, well, I guess that would paint a picture for us related to, what kind of lifestyle this child was most likely involved in. I'm sorry, but some reports indicate she's not present at the, present related to the funeral arrangements, but specifics about her status, custody, location have not been widely reported in in our sources. Dominica was the caregiver, and she is reported as the father's girlfriend. News outlets and court records do not use sensational language, but describe the actions in factual terms. Police say Mosley admitted to prolonged and forcible physical discipline, which investigators allege include repeated beating, hitting, stomping on the child's torso and abdomen, alleged burn injuries in response to a urinary behavior. These admissions came after Mosby initially provided a different version of the events in an effort in responding to officers. She was basically saying she didn't do it. The child was just ill. And then she's being presented with his physical injuries, and she starts telling them what she did, and it is horrific. The physicians determined Kevin's injuries were not consistent with accidental harm, and they were categorized as inflicted trauma. But it's the burning of the ears and, downstairs that I believe warrant a torture crime. At this stage, public available reports are limited regarding formal child protective investigations. We don't know if he's ever been investigated, if that's the reason why his dad has him. An aunt of Kevin has stated that she observed injuries on Kevin before the fatal incident, including unexplained marks on his face and lip. Why the father wasn't questioning these things, I have no idea. This could indicate prior harm or stress, so she's probably been abusing this child for a while before it got to this point. Public commentary on social platforms reflects shock, anger, and concern. Community members have expressed outrage. And I can see why there's outrage. If you guys look at the he's a beautiful boy. He's a beautiful boy. A 3-year-old child are completely dependent for supervision and care. The child was under the care of an adult who was not a parent at the time of the fatal injury, which is one of the reasons why we looked at Chris Proudfoot so pointedly at the beginning of this Sebastian Rogers case until we turned our focuses on to Katie Proudfoot. And that's when we started realizing everything started fitting into place when we replaced Chris with Katie. And we realized Katie was the culprit, for Sebastian. Katie is the evil monster in Sebastian's story. And, most of our cases we're dealing with parents, and in this case, we're dealing with a step-parent. This is a Letitia Stout, if you will, a Letitia Stout. Okay. This is a woman that her boyfriend, her significant other, entrusted her with his child. He would not be taking care of this child if he did not care for his child. Okay. I can tell you that. He wasn't home. It sounds like he was working at the time that these things happened. So now he's providing a life for his girlfriend and his son, and he's thinking he's doing what is right, and she unalives his kid. I don't know. Based on public information, law enforcement identified behaviors consistent with inflicted physical injury rather than accidental harm and aggressive response to a minor child's behavior. Until psychological evaluations are released, which we're hearing she's under psych eval right now, we're not going to really have any more information. So what can we do to help? There are some things that we can consider, and that's reporting and awareness, access to support services, legal and child protective systems, and public education. And I feel like most of those things we're failing in across this country, not just here, not just here in the state of Tennessee, but I think we're all having problems, no matter what state we're looking at, where children are just being failed by the services that we're paying a lot of money to protect our children. So we're encouraging community members to report suspected child abuse. If you guys see, listen, it's not for you to do the investigation. If it's suspected, call it in. Okay? If you see a child being beaten out in the frickin' parking lot of the Food Lion or the Walmart, call it in. We don't know. I mean, at this day and age, I trust nobody with our children. Okay? I trust nobody. Nobody. Because there's just too many people that just try to keep stuff that they're doing to these kids under wraps and shoveled under a rug. And these kids are being raised in these abusive environments not knowing that that's not normal. And then they go off to do the same damn thing when they become adults. Because that's what they were taught. We have to break the cycle. We have to break the cycle. Just like the drug dependency cycle, we have to break it. What's going on out there in the waters, I am 100% for it. Blow them up. Okay? Those ships that don't need to be making it to our shores. I mean, we are at war with drug cartels. Our president has said it. Our Secretary of War has said it. We're feeling it. I can tell you that I've got a lot of parents in my channel right now that have buried a significant loved one, whether it be their child or a friend. I think everybody here is tired of it. This has affected literally, I think has touched just about every American across this country, this drug epidemic, and it's never gotten better. It's only gotten worse. How can we spend so much money to solve a problem and it only get worse? You know how? Because we got corrupted people that use this for profit, not for actual action. That's how we got here. Now we have action. And hopefully we're going to save. Now, was this lady on substances? I can tell you there's 3 things that cause these cases to wind up on true crime content creators' channels. And that's substances, alcohol, or domestic violence in the home. It's one of those things, it's 2 of those things, or it's all 3 of those things. Those are the secrets. Every single case we have covered, one of those things have been a factor in every single case we have covered on this channel. So if you see child abuse, report it. Even if it's suspected, report it. Don't falsely report it. If you know the child's not being hurt or not being injured and you have insight into it, you do not use the Department of Children and Family Services to get back at somebody, okay? Children's lives are in danger. You know why it's so hard to pull kids out of bad homes? Because look at how many people that we've watched on this platform alone abuse the system. How many times have we watched people abuse the system and lie on people? You know what that does? It's the story about the boy that cried wolf. Then when the wolf came, nobody believed him. That's the problem we have in our child protective issues, our services. Those are the issues. Right? So many people have abused the system. They have to use the system. They have to use kitten gloves when dealing with this because they don't know who's being manipulated, who's lying, and who's not. And we see the abuse just on this platform. We've watched those hate channels. How many times do this to innocent families? How many times have they abused other people's children with the grotesque investigation of the Department of Children and Family Services for content creators on here that have done nothing but piss another person off? We watched that. QB, her channel and platform was the worst. Everybody on her channel abused the system. They're criminals and felons. Do you really think that they're going to do anything different? No, they're not. But how do these things thrive? It's because people like them. So the next time you wonder why a child hasn't been ripped from a home when he should, it's because they had a second guess. Thank a hate channel for that. The next time a child goes missing because he or she wasn't removed out of a home in time, thank a hate channel for that. Thank a hate channel for that. They are currently doing it. If you don't believe me, call Brittany. Call Brittany, Brittany J. I don't know how many times she's been called on. These people should be in prison. Because look at the harm you're causing. Children, innocent children. So the next time you hear a hate channel doing it, you guys better go and chew their asses up and spit them out. Chew them up for lunch. The next time you hear somebody abusing the system, chew them up for lunch. Chew them up for lunch. Because when they keep violating the system, it makes it harder and harder for true cases to be seen and heard. Thank a hate channel for that. Thank a hate channel, thank a hate channel, thank a hate channel. And if you're supporting those hate channels, congratulations yourself. You've just injured a child. You should be so pleased with yourself. I didn't injure that child. How do you know? How do you know? Because now our social workers have to juggle which cases are true and which ones are being called in inappropriately. Let's talk about it. Thank a hate channel for that. So this is a horrific case. We want the community members to report suspected child abuse. There are mandatory reporters out there, such as teachers, healthcare providers, childcare workers. But as we realize that our school systems are toxic breeding grounds, it's forcing a lot of parents, especially bad parents, to enroll their children into homeschooling. And when we get children, and it's a double-edged sword like many things out there, whenever you have something, it's going to be exploited. And so we have homeschooling just about in every single one of our 50 states, and it was to combat these social justice warrior teachers that were screwing up our children. Well, it's also became a breeding ground for abusive parents that don't want intervention of the schools. They're removing their children from the schools, they're homeschooling them, and they're hiding the abuse and the child. So there is some area that we need to be working on with our homeschooling to prevent stuff like that. And I think evaluations, monthly evaluation, at home evaluations need to be incorporated. And I think it can be incorporated with very limited amounts of resources, financial resources, if it's done properly, but I think we need to have something in place there. Highlight resources for stressed caregivers, including parenting support hotlines, counseling, and respite services. We need to find more services, and we need to be supporting more services. Is it the responsibility of the government to be doing this in the grand scheme of things? No, it's not. But we're seeing that children are dying because of it, and it is the responsibility of our government to protect our children. So we've got to find avenues to do that. And some of these respite services can give the caregivers that are just beating their heads against the wall trying to take care of their loved one when they're not equipped to do so. It gives them the break that they need. And I think there needs to be more respite care. And there needs to be more, if we're going to be talking about respite care, some more babysitter things, 2 hours a month or 4 hours a month of a babysitter, just giving the mom or the father a true break from the child. What do we got here? I'll be back. I have a call with my husband at the hospital to see he's doing. He can't move his right leg after the stroke. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, hot damn. Well, we definitely send prayers for you. We definitely send prayers. Guys, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button on your way in or your way out this morning. So, I think respite care, some babysitting services and stuff like that is going to be paramount to, especially the single family makeup. It is for those people that just want to be single and single the rest of your life. I pray that you guys do not do that. I think everybody should be married. I think everybody should have, stability and somebody to have their back. I think loyalty and stuff like that. I believe everybody, you should be in a functioning family. Okay. That's what I want for everybody. I think people that are in a functioning family thrive better than anybody else. Okay, in this world. I really do. I don't really want to get into, I think we're going to have another show on Child Protective Services, its functions to investigate and intervene in cases, because I think a lot of people are ignorant about the true capacity of the Department of Children and Family Services and why I want certain laws in place. It is important for timely reporting when red flags as unexplained injuries and behaviors change in children are observed. We saw a huge change in Sebastian's personality from 2022 on. He got to the point where he was telling his counselor he didn't believe his mother loved him anymore, and she was detaching from him. She was detaching from him because Chris was forcing her to detach from him. And she was having a lot of problems. So I don't know. I think that we need to go over the Child Protective Services and maybe if anybody knows anybody from Child Protective Services that would be willing to, they don't have to come up here or say their name, but I would like to have a show and interview them. Generally, I don't want, they can get approval from their people and stuff like that, whatever the case may be. But if you know somebody, it's always easier to try to reach out to somebody that you guys know that might already be a social worker or maybe a retired social worker that can give us some insight. If you know somebody like that, please reach out to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I would greatly appreciate the insight on that, because I do have some questions, especially, involving, what are the child, what are the changes, what are the main stuff in Child Protective Services and what changes from state to state. And of course, public education. I think we need to bring in somebody, an expert on child abuse and fleshing out child abuse and stuff like that, so we can learn what the common signs of abuse or neglect are, so we can kind of be better advocates out there in our communities. When we see something, we can certainly say something. And all of that really does come with education and learning stuff on these channels. It's not just all about, we do have breaking cases on these channels all the time, but it's, in my opinion, it's not about all the breaking cases. It's also about the advocacy and getting down to the root cause and finding out if there's something that we can do around this country or within our states or within the states that these crimes are happening in, where we can help or push, bring awareness to a shortcoming or a law that needs to be fully fulfilled in that community or in that state. And I feel like there's a lot of work that needs to be had in the state of Tennessee. I think Tennessee, and I think I know what the problem is as well. I think that Tennessee has always been just a country mountain type of state. Everybody kind of just lives free there. They live without constraints. And as our country started changing, with ideology makeups, where people were having to put lines in the sand, you're either for, unaliving babies in the womb and, wanting to save the puppies and, wanting to mutilate genitalia and, it became really good versus evil. And so people started moving around the state based on good versus evil, because it had gotten so bad in some of the states. I mean, even with the late term unaliving of the womb, it got too much. I know people that aren't in these states don't realize how crazy it got in some states. Some states were pushing as long as the parent unalived the child within 30 days after birth. I mean, it got crazy, folks. And in my mind, if a child breathes outside, well, the child has a heartbeat, at how many days? That's when I believe a child is a child, right? That's just my belief. But it got to the point that even after giving birth, they had a right up to 30 days to, no. It started getting that crazy in some states. They were presenting bills like that, folks. They were presenting very evil bills like that in some states, including Minnesota, okay? Where you had up to 30 days and not being charged with redrum, okay? It was getting horrific. It was getting horrific, and I think that's what drove Roe versus Wade. Once the justices seen where this was going, I think they said absolutely not. Absolutely not. There was no reason for it to be in place to begin with. It did not. It's not the place of the government, the federal government, to tell states what they can do on that front. And I think that's what got that overturned. But I digress. This is not about that. We do have, but there was a line in the sand, and I think what had happened is that many people moved into Tennessee because it was a red state. It was one of the freer states, but it brought in a lot of crackpots. And when the dynamics started changing and people started flooding the inner cities, especially like Memphis, and turning it into a city and an inner city, I think that's when crime rates started going up. And so, because Tennessee was always just a slow country mountainous state, just got along to get along, much like their behavior is now. They're behind the eight ball literally in everything, and now they're in certain areas of Tennessee, it's completely littered and out of control with crime because they weren't updating their laws. They weren't, as more people were coming into their state, they weren't updating their laws, and they were still having low population laws, because when you don't have a lot of people, your crime, even the little bit of crime you do have, is so stinking low, you don't really have a need for a whole lot of services. And that's the way, in my opinion, it's been for a really long time out in Tennessee. A lot of people handled their own business. If you had people didn't go call police when they had a disagreement. They usually beat the crap out of each other. The winner won, and that's the way it was. You walked off. You went and dealt with your business. Somebody messed up your house. You'd go take it out on them. I mean, it was them taking care of their own stuff the way that they took care of it. And that's always been kind of the culture in Tennessee. But now that they have so many people in the state of Tennessee now, and now that they have a lot of violent criminals in the state of Tennessee now, they need the laws that combat that. And they're always going to be behind the 8 ball if they're going to keep doing these soft things, where they're not making the full leap. They're only making a quarter leap, right? Like the whole thing where now it's a DP if you SA a child under 4. That means 5, 6, and 7 are okay. That's wrong. Like what? Who in Tennessee thought that this is a good law? Oh, we can DP somebody if they do it to a 4-year-old. It's got me speechless. Like, I don't even know how to speak, how to combat something like that. I mean, that just tells me it's completely cultural there. Like, these people are just so far gone that they really don't know what is really going on, or they do know what's going on behind these closed doors in some of these mountainous homes. And there's just so much of it running rampant that their jails, they wouldn't be able to handle it in their jails. That's kind of where I'm starting to think that all of this is lining up. And if that's the case, that's disgusting. You guys are softballing these laws so you don't have to put these people in jail. That is a problem for me. Because disgusting behavior warrants jail. It warrants a trial. I don't know. Hey, Mary Moose, it's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. The boss, it's nice to see you. She had PTSD when she tried to show her that she was safe when she came to live with us. We all have just child, I think we all have child protective service. I always thought child protective service, but I'm from Florida. Not that our child protective services are, I think they're better than Tennessee. I think some areas of our state are more liberal than other areas of our state. I live in a very conservative state. You screw with our kids, you're going to jail. Okay, your house is not kept up. You let your children live in squalor. You're going to jail. Okay, we don't play. Our sheriff, he doesn't like arresting people. Thank God. We got a sheriff that arrests people that warrant arrest. But one thing we don't deal with is with our children. If you can't provide a good home, a good safe home for the kids in Manatee County in the 12th district, you're going to jail and you're getting your children taken. Okay, we thrive on giving those children back as much as possible within reason, but we make them work for it. And we've had some really nasty homes that our sheriff has had arrest parents and grandparents. Right? Children deserve to live in a sanitary area. They deserve to have running water. They deserve to have a clean bed. They deserve to have clean clothes. That is your responsibility as a caretaker. If you are failing at your core responsibility, you need to speak up and ask for help and start finding resources that can get you the help that you need. It's your responsibility, okay? It's not for somebody to come and knock on your door and ask you, do you need these services, okay? If you're seeing yourself failing, okay, you have to be honest with yourself, right? Honesty is the key to everything. If you're honest with yourself and you're failing and you start looking at how to not fail, I think you'll find out a lot of resources are out there. I was amazed until I got involved with my county and being a county and a community advocate and activist. I didn't realize how many services are in my community. Many people don't even know. Like, we have turning points, and yeah, a lot of our nonprofits know about turning points, but does our general public know that they have a facility that they can go to that will help them if they're falling behind? Do they know that? Do they truly know that? No, they don't. No, they don't. And so if you guys are really about helping your community, the best thing I can advise for each and every one of you guys to do is find out what kind of services you have. And those services might be you meeting with your county commissioner and talking to them about it, believe it or not, these county commissioners, everybody thinks it's these people, they want to talk to their voters. I promise you, they want to hear from you. They want to see you. If you haven't picked up the phone and called your county commissioner and introduced yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice. You want your county commissioner to know who you are, because say you do have a problem with a zoning issue or a disgruntled neighbor or a trash issue. Who are you calling? Are you really wanting to call the county and wait for an hour just to speak to somebody that can't help you? Or wouldn't you rather have the private cell phone number of your county commissioner that you can call and say, hey, we have a problem. Here's the problem. What do you think I should do? Don't you think that getting in front of the decision maker when you need decisions to be made in your community, don't you think that is more beneficial to you and your cause than anything else? If you haven't met with your county commissioners, please do. Trust, they're not snakes. Some of them are. Actually, I should say they're not rattlesnakes. Okay, they might be snakes, but they're not rattlesnakes. Okay, they're not gonna. You're gonna walk out. Okay, I promise you, you'll walk out of the meeting just fine. Okay, I'm just saying. I know it's a little scary to think that somebody like a county commissioner or somebody in politics would dare have time for you. Believe it or not, you'd be very, very pleasantly surprised how many of them will actually have time for you. So if you haven't reached out to them, please reach out to them just to say hi and get to know them and find out if they're really fighting for you as a citizen, for the stuff that you think is important. Many people go up there, they smile real pretty for the camera, they make a great little, flyer to go in the mail, and many people get elected that way, not because they have a great track record, not because they're defending your what you know in the community to be true. So county commissioners, could you have helped? Could somebody in Tennessee, in Memphis, Tennessee, help this person? I don't know. What is her history? We're going to be looking into that. But this is a major calling to fathers. Okay? You fathers out there, don't be just bringing any broad home to be around your children. And don't be just trusting any broad to watch your child. Okay? I know it's a little easy. All right? But sometimes the best things aren't the easy things. This was an easy way out. He let this woman that did not love his child the way he loved his child. And you cannot tell me he did not see some things on this child that caused him for concern. Whether she, blew it off or gave him a lie or whatever the case may be, he knew something had to have been off. Family members in the last article we read knew that something was off, that had seen some bruising on his face and his lip. They should have called the Department of Children and Family Services. This woman should have never watched that child. And if that father ever saw this woman yell at that child, and he should have immediately corrected her and started looking at her sideways. And children are precious. They can be injured so quickly. Like, one of the biggest things with me and Delilah is not a child. She is a dog, okay? She is a tiny little chihuahua. But one of my biggest concerns is her getting out of something and getting hit by a car or getting hurt by another animal. And me not being able to get there in time. That is like literally my biggest fear. So when we're around the house, I let her run free. She's not on a leash. Even in the front yard, backyard, I don't worry about her running out in the yard. She doesn't chase things out into the middle of the street. I'm not worried about a car running by here and her getting, But when I'm anywhere else, I pick her up and take her where she needs to go, so I know that she is in a safe place before I even unload my vehicle, And I got to think that children are much like that. When we get there, we just don't let our children just run out in the roads in front of cars. We teach them not to run in front of cars. But what do we do when we're bringing somebody and putting that person in their life and they're the car? They're the proverbial car. This woman was the car. And she had been running up and down that road like those crazy folks over there in my best friend's community. By the way, I just want to let you know that situation has been resolved. I can tell you that the people that were laughing at me in that house quit laughing at me. They realized that they did have a real, that I wasn't just speaking hyperbole when I was speaking to them, that they were dealing with a true professional protester that has no problem protesting at the drop of a dime. Reputation about that. But not only that, the rolling and riding up the road and, going 60 miles up a road in a residential area where children are on bikes. That has never happened again since that day. And like I told Laura, I said, I'm really sorry that that second car went by. Something moved me. My ass was out. My butt was out of that chair, screaming down the road before I even knew what was going on. I even told Laura, I said, I don't know what happened. I said, I was just sitting just fine. I said, the first truck, drove by real fast and I rolled my eyes, but then it had to have been because Deb was out there by the road and that guy waited until he got right by Deb. Deb's a 67-year-old woman, okay? She's an elderly woman. And he waited until this young punk waited until he got right by an elderly woman, and then he floored it. And I'm telling you guys think I'm joking. My butt popped up out this chair. I was out in the middle of the road, halfway down the road, screaming profanity laced before I even knew I was in the middle of the road. That's how hot Bullhorn Betty was that day. That is how hot I was. That's how hot I was that day. I was so angry. If that boy would have lunged at me, I would have put him on his ass. And he kept, like, I recorded. Oh, you're a racist. I'm like, excuse me? Oh, you called me a spick. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I don't speak like that. I said, you can, he was like, oh, you're a racist. I said, look, dude, you can call me whatever the hell you want to call me. I said, it ain't going to stop the fact that car right there was running up and down this road at 60 miles an hour. So you can keep calling me whatever you need to call me, but it ain't going to justify that. I never said any derogatory outside of it, the MFer. I called him an MFer, but I do that to anybody that's being an MFer. Okay, it wasn't special to him. I'm just saying. I'm an equal opportunity asshole. Don't forget. So this woman here is a despicable woman. She's now facing first-degree homicide. Like, what person thinks that they can do that to, like, the 3-year-old boy? A 3-year-old boy. Stomping him. I got no words. And the only thing I can say is that, I know people. This didn't happen overnight, and there had to have been some red flags. Okay, folks? There had to have been some red flags. This father had to have known that this was not the bubbly, oh, I love him, he's so cute, I can't wait until I get my hands on him. Many of us are like that. we see a child that we don't know. I mean, we're wanting to hold them and pat their butt, like pat, like rock pat. I mean, we're not trying to, lacerate livers over here, okay? I'm just, funny, not funny. And you got this poor excuse of a woman that, like, what did you think was going to happen when your foot was coming down on him? I hope she gets a rough ride in that jail. I hope she gets a rough ride in that jail, and I'm sorry for wishing it. Forgive me for wishing it. I'm not a perfect Christian. I'm not. And I'm okay with that. You know what? I still want the rough ride. I'm okay with that. Non-violent, but I want her to have a rough ride. Father had to, that's what there had to have been some, but see, some people manipulate. So she had to have probably came up with some pretty good excuses. But that boy, he would have had to have been really disgruntled every time he went to hand the boy over. That boy must have never wanted to go over to this woman. Those are the signs that I'm talking about. Listen, children don't always communicate well. We all know that. They're children. But their behaviors are very, very spot on, okay? You go to hand a child and they're like, there's something there, okay? Now, it could be because the child doesn't know the person. That might be exactly what the problem is, but there's something there, right? But if it's a child that knows a person, that's around a person, and just freaks out when you're handing that there's something there. And you cannot dismiss that. Quit dismissing that. It's not a child being a child. A child is telling you something, okay? A child is telling you something. And I have to think that this child, every time he was left alone with this woman, would have been crying, would have given some signs. He did not like her. A lot of kids, when they get abused at schools, they don't want to go to schools. They used to always love to go to school, and now all of a sudden they don't want to go to school. That's a telltale sign. Okay, something is going on inside that school. Quit dismissing that stuff. Okay? If you're dismissing that and your children are not because kids don't communicate well. But it's a lot different for them to hide behavior. Okay? They may not talk to you, but it's their behavior is going to start telling you something is wrong. Don't automatically assume that behavior change is because they're a bad kid. There might be something going on in that child's life that they're scared to talk to you about. Maybe instead of beating them with a belt, maybe sit down and take them out for ice cream and find out what's going on in their world. Be a parent, right? There's a time and a place to be a disciplinary parent. There's got to be some give and take. There's got to be times when you put on the kitten gloves. You start having major behavioral changes with your children. Don't just, think that they're being difficult. Get down to the root problem, because there might be something going on that you're unaware of. And you need to be aware of, because God forbid you're getting angry with your child and they're being abused and you're just unaware of it. And then you're making that child feel worse because you have no time or patience to deal with their shit. But their shit is a side effect of something going on in their life, in their world. So please don't dismiss it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So I can't really play the news on this case here. This is a despicable woman. This is a man that trusted his 3-year-old child with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend took his child out of this world. And now she's facing a first-degree homicide charge. I think she should be charged with torture. I'm not pleased with the charges. I think torture needs to be added. If they have which this is Tennessee, I'm pretty sure Tennessee has a torture charge. Let's find out. Actually, let me not assume. Does Tennessee have a criminal torture law or crime? Yeah. But okay, so it is grave torture, which it says, yes, Tennessee law expressly criminalizes the form of torture known as grave torture. This is codified in Tennessee Criminal Code and treated as one of the most serious felony offenses. So it's also a felony. These are the elements. So one, the offense needs to be grave torture. And these are so law. Grave torture is defined as the intentional infliction of severe physical and mental pain and suffering on a victim with the intent to perpetrate first-degree murder and accomplice by 3 or more specified aggravated circumstances. For example, kidnapping, mutilation. Remember the fire, the flame at the, would that classify as mutilation? I don't know. Multiple victims. See, multiple victims, you need multiple victims to have this. It's use of a weapon, which the lighter could be considered a weapon, and the cigarette could be a weapon as well. Or knowing victim is vulnerable. The victim was 3 years old. So I really and she's charged with first-degree murder. And the intentional infliction of severe physical and mental pain and suffering on the victim. She wanted to hurt him for peeing, for urinating on the floor. And so she burnt his ear with a cigarette and flamed his belows, and that lighter can be considered a weapon. And he is a victim is vulnerable. He's 3 years old. She should be charged with torture. That's just one. So I think that she's met element 1. 2 is classified penalties. She met the statutory offense for grave torture, I truly believe. Now, 2 is classification and penalties. Grave torture is a Class A felony. For adult offenders, the statute provides life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, or under certain conditions may allow the death penalty should the U.S. Constitution permit its application for such conduct. For juvenile, and I hope this lady gets the DP. This is somebody else's child she was entrusted with. She took somebody else's child. A person cannot be convicted under this torture statute and certain other offenses such as aggravated R or related crimes arising from the same conduct. The statute is structured so it applies to a particular heinous act involving severe pain. That might be the problem right there, is the relationship to other offenses. Because it says it cannot be a person cannot be convicted under the torture statute and certain other offenses such as aggravated R. So they can't say aggravated R is torture or other related crimes. But could it go with a homicide? That's the question. This is the kind of crap that I'm talking, that handcuffs their prosecution. It's this crap right here. They should have this stuff fixed. It shouldn't be this complicated. This child was tortured. This person was tortured. So if this person was tortured, why can't she be charged with torture? Why does it have to be jumping through hoops and, we're charging her with homicide, so we can't charge her with torture? That's not appropriate. Just because she's charged with homicide doesn't mean she's not guilty of torture as well. She should be charged with it. Not aggravated child abuse. This is not aggravated child abuse. She took flames, a lighter to his belows. A boy. The flip. His gonads, babies. Heat to a 3-year-old. No. Tennessee does not have a broadly titled torture statute, which they should. But it does define and criminalize specific forms of torture, such as grave torture. That's not good enough. That's not good enough in the state of Tennessee. Did you hear what this woman has done? This is the kind of crap I'm talking about. Tennessee needs help. Tennessee doesn't know what the hell they're doing in law enforcement. I'm sorry. I used to have high regard because I was ignorant. Now that I'm working in true crime, like Tennessee, y'all, I feel for you. You guys have your law enforcement closing down nights and weekends. Yes, a lighter, Jenny. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. 3-year-old boy. Yes. Yes. I would say it's a weapon. Absolutely. Absolutely. This case is horrific. It's hard to discuss. It's hard to discuss. I'd like to hear a little more about this case on an educational and newsworthy aspect of it. Obviously, there's a whodunit's not involved in this case. This boy is deceased. His dad's girlfriend is behind bars. So the case is pretty much done. Now comes the court hearing. But I think this is not even that. I think this is more for me to remove the mask that this only goes one way. Because we're constantly empowering our young ladies here that have children to make sure you do extra levels of scrutiny with people that you're dating, not just for yourself, but never bring them home to your children until you know who they are. And if they have anything in their past, don't let them convince you that it didn't turn out this way. You cannot risk that if a man that you really like has a past, or that past is very, very bad, or, whatever, maybe mildly bad, and they try to give you excuses on what happened, if it has to do with abuse or anything to do with children, you cannot risk your child. You just have to end that relationship before it gets off the ground. Okay? It's not going to go anywhere. You cannot risk your child with that person. It's just not going to work out. Maybe it'll work out in another 10 years when your children are off to college. Maybe then you could start dating this person, or what the case may be. But while you know that these things are going on, it's not worth the risk. Even if they give you a great excuse as to why this happened or that happened, are you really willing to toss the dice with your children? And that's what you need to start asking yourself. Is this D worth my child? Because that's basically what you're gambling with, okay? You guys need to be doing your background checks. If they don't meet the background checks, you got to kick them loose. No second date, no third date, just just ghost them. Bye, B. They should not know where you live at this point. You should never have them pick you up from your home. You should never have them around your child until there is a full background check done. We used to say that to all of our women. Well, unfortunately, now we're having to tell all of our men. You have to start doing the same thing. You can no longer trust the women you're bringing into the lives of your children. And you have to play by the same rules our women play by. You can't just bring a woman home and to be around your children when you're a single dad at every whim. You cannot do that. If you want to see a woman, you get a babysitter, you keep them away from your home, you never bring that, because if you get a crazy woman, do you really want a crazy woman knocking on your door and and being a scene in front of your children at a later date? Be smart. Be smart. Be smart. It's time to start taking ownership of our responsibility as parents. Okay? We can't just bring any Tom, Dick, or Harry home with us. And we can't even bring any Tanya, or Harriet home with you, with the guys. I don't know. I'm pulling that one out of my bootay, but you guys get it goes both ways. Okay? If you're meeting somebody for the first time, I'm not saying you can't date while you're being a single parent. Obviously, you need to find someone that makes you happy and start building a life again. I'm not telling you that. I'm just saying be careful. Don't wind up on my show because you decided to make a stupid decision. Okay, that decision will follow you the rest of your life. That's all I'm asking, is just look at your child and promise to protect that child. I'm not saying not to date. I'm not saying to end your life. I'm just saying you've got to do extra steps when you're a single parent. You've got to do extra step when you have impressionable children in your home. You've just got to do the extra steps, folks. Okay? Moms, dads, it doesn't matter. Don't be bringing anybody home to your children until you know who they truly are. Okay? And this goes more for the underprivileged than it does for the high net worths. Okay? I'm sorry, it does. So if you are sitting there saying, well, I don't have that type of net worth to worry about it at this point, it's going to affect you more than it's going to affect the higher echelons of our society, okay? Us people down here in the real world, it affects us the most, okay? That means it affects all of you guys the most. So please just protect yourself. This is getting to become a crazy environment. And now we can't even trust the people that we love the most. Okay. It's tough. I understand. We're all feeling it. We're all feeling it. But I truly believe there are tools out there to help us. Okay. I use Truth Finder. If you guys haven't used Truth Finder, consider using Truth Finder or Verify, or Spoka, P whatever, PO, I don't know, Spoke, I don't know what the other one is. But, just invest in something. And if you are a single female or a single man and you're looking at possibly dating a new person and you don't want to spend or don't have the $17 a month, you can reach out to me. It might take me a day or two to get back to you, but you can reach out to me. I'll pull the report and send it to you. Okay? And then at least you'll have it. You'll be able to make a good decision. It's not going to cost you a thing to do. It's a free service we offer here. I pay for a service. I'll run the name. I'll send you the report. It's just that easy. Okay. I'm not going to look at the report. I don't have any business being in it. I don't have time to do all that. Okay. But I do have time for you guys. If you're dating somebody and you're concerned, send me their name. Send me some information. I'll pull the report and send it to you. Okay. And at least I know that you guys are safe. I can't save the whole world, but we can provide services for our audience to help keep them safe. And my services, it doesn't matter what state you're in, but you have to be in the United States. If you're overseas, Canada, I can't help you. But if you're in the United States and you're considering dating a new person, or maybe you've been dating somebody for a while and now you're ready to kind of bring them to meet your child and you just want to do, the final, let's see who this person is, reach out to me with their information. I'll pull you the report. It'll be discreet. Nobody will know. I'm not coming. I don't come out here and say, do you believe what Jane Doe was doing last night? Right? We're not like that. Okay. So utilize services that you guys are getting on these channels. Not every channel offers those things to you. I offer those to my single moms and fathers out there. So take advantage of it, and you'll get something directly from nobody else does it. So if you get a report, it's coming from yours truly. I don't have a team back here pumping out reports for you, okay? So if you guys have it, maybe that'll be the selling feature, is Bullhorn Betty will be pulling it for you, so you'll be getting it directly from me, but I want you guys to be safe. So be safe out there. Keep your family safe. Don't become a victim of somebody like this animal right here. And keep yourself safe, keep your family safe, and just know that this is a crazy society. We got to be careful who we trust. We're down to that point, okay? We're down to that point. I don't care if these people, you remember them from college and they were the funnest people. You haven't seen them in 20 years. It's time for you to find out who they are, okay? Don't be bringing them home to your kids, all right? Please, 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 please. Don't subject your kids to shit, okay? All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. She is here. It is time to go play fetch. She's just not used to that word. She's used to the other words. So I've started telling you guys. So fetch is the word that we're using. And I don't mean fetch like, oh, she's so fetch. Like, we're going to go play fetch. So we'll see you guys a little later. And then we're heading over to Miss Laura's. I probably, keep trying to do an afternoon show. I haven't done an afternoon show in 3 days. So will I do one this afternoon? I really don't know. I know we haven't talked about Sebastian Rogers in several days, so I'd like to get back on his case and going over some of the stuff that we forgot about. So we're going to be picking that all back up. We also still have Summer Wells that we need to be talking about. Lily and Jack Sullivan. I can give you guys this cursory review. We may go back over the Lily and Jack Sullivan from the beginning in a couple weeks or something like that. But for right now, all searches have been grounded. Obviously, we're under, a lot of cold weather, and it's not conducive for searches in Nova Scotia right now. So they did a good push right before the weather started changing, and they did not find anything. They found a few things, but it wasn't anything related to Lily and Jack Sullivan, which gives us even makes it even more concrete that there's foul play associated with this case. And, but until we'll have some time to go back, because there's going to be no movement in this case for a while. Okay. It's going to be ridiculously cold in the area. Nobody's going to be searching for these kids. The searches that were going to happen have happened. There's going to be more searches in the future. I've already heard about those after the brutal winter goes away. And then we'll start picking up again from that point with the Lily and Jack Sullivan case. And then we're just going to be probably focusing on, we might even dive back into Layla Santinello. I think we're getting a little closer to finding out what may have happened to her, and hopefully getting a little closer to maybe resolving that case in its entirety, hopefully for the sake of Jennifer Santinello. If you guys don't know, Jennifer Santinello is, she's been basically unemployed since her daughter disappeared. She's taking care of her granddaughter full time, and she still has children that are in school, in grade school, in high school and whatnot. So it's been very difficult, and they've been doing the best that they can. It is very expensive to have a loved one go missing, and people do not understand that. So these families don't just need immediate support, at the beginning of these cases. They need support throughout the duration of these cases. And you find that some people start getting nasty the longer these cases go on. It doesn't make the cases any easier as the time goes on. It makes them more difficult and more costly, not less costly. And this idea that, parents can just go back to work. I don't know what you're thinking of, but you look at your loved one, you have your loved one ripped from you, and then you try to concentrate at work. See how employable you are. You'll find out that it's not very conducive to good employment. So at the end of the day, I just thought it was very important that I say that. If you guys see families struggling, missing children in their family and stuff like that, be kind to them. Help them out if you can. Don't criticize their walk. They didn't put themselves into this. They're dealing with it, and they're doing the best that they can. Just remember that. It's very, very expensive, and it's very, very painful to miss a loved one. Okay? And to quite frankly, to have a loved one lose their life, to be murdered, it's very expensive. Okay? And people don't understand the true cost, and it goes well beyond monetary in these cases. And it's sad to see so many people being nasty to people that have lost so much. It's just, it's un-American. It's inhumane. When you treat a dog better than you treat a human being, you're part of the problem. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Take care. We'll be back here again. Don't know if it's going to be this afternoon or tomorrow morning, but I will try to fit you guys in if I get back here soon enough. Thanks.